After the 2022 NFL Draft in April, the long-term Pittsburgh Steelers general manager Kevin Colbert is set to step down. There are a lot of kinks and notches to work out before his departure. Let's get into the details behind this and other NFL news that's been making the rounds. First, Kevin Colbert leaving the Steelers after years of being GM. On Friday, team owner Art Rooney II said that the longtime Steelers general manager Kevin Colbert will step down after the 2022 NFL Draft in April. Rooney has said that they possibly have an ongoing role he can take up when the draft is over. The search for a new general manager will start immediately, but the hiring won't happen until after drafting has ended. Omar and Braden Hunt have already been interviewed for the position, but they will continue interviewing people until they find the perfect candidate for the job. Khan is currently the team's vice president of football operations as well as business administration, whereas Hunt is the professional scouting coordinator, making the two of them the best candidates for the job. Khan's been with the Steelers for just over 2 decades, and Hunt has been with them for a decade and a half. That is a long-term commitment to the Steelers. Next, Roethlisberger follows Colbert's lead. On Thursday, after 18 seasons, Ben Roethlisberger announced his retirement. Colbert often maintained that he would be around as long as quarterback Roethlisberger, who had worked on year-to-year deals since the end of the 2019 season. Similar to Colbert, the organization is looking at all options to replace Roethlisberger. This includes in-house candidates Dwayne Haskins and Mason Rudolph. Colbert has been with the Steelers for 22 seasons and took over as general manager in 2010 after a decade as the director of football operations. His tenure with the team has had the team end up with 2 Super Bowl titles and 3 AFC championships. From 1990 to 1999, he served as the pro scouting director for the Detroit Lions. Rooney doesn't anticipate being more involved in the search than he has been for previous player searches and evaluations, even with the change in general manager. They will have to evaluate all the options they have because they can't custom make their dream quarterback. They don't have the luxury of not taking advantage of every opportunity they are presented with. Having mobility in a position like that would be desirable, which means that mobile quarterbacks are definitely the wave of the future. They need someone who can read defense as well as complete a pass downfield. There are a lot of puzzle pieces to put together, and you just cannot have everything together. You'll have to choose the best player and expect them to work with the pros around them. Taking all of this into perspective, we are sure the Steelers will find the perfect fits for them in terms of all the positions they need to fill. We wish Colbert the best for the future, and good luck to Rooney during the hiring process. Next, Tomlin left as the only longtime Steelers member. Coach Mike Tomlin will be the lone standing member of the longtime nucleus of the Steelers following the imminent departure of Colbert. The coach has just signed a 3-year extension last year. Rooney has affirmed that his role will not change or expand under the newly appointed general manager. They aren't trying to make massive changes in terms of responsibilities. Colbert will be holding his normal role throughout the draft, so it isn't critical for the Steelers to have their newly appointed general manager on board beforehand. Even last week, Tomlin commented that Colbert is going on with the draft preparation as usual. Speaking of Tomlin, he has said that their plan of action is to proceed short-term as they do normally. Colbert's already bringing him up to speed with draft availability as well as value in that space, along with planning how they'll be moving. Tomlin stated that they have massive continuity and understanding in their relationship. Rooney has said that the organization will be considering outside candidates for the general manager position as well as other staff positions like defensive coordinator, even though the Steelers have infamously preferred keeping hiring in-house. They will be hiring the best people for their specific positions, so they definitely aren't afraid to bring in someone from the outside because they have the organization's best interest in mind. The same happened when Tomlin was hired. Regardless of having great internal candidates, Tomlin was the best for the job. Now in other NFL news, Ballard won't quit on Campbell just yet. The Colts have other looming issues on the roster to consider beside the big question about what to do with quarterback Carson Wentz. For whoever's under center in 2022, upgrading the receiver room is in the cards. Michael Pittman sits as the only reliable target currently on the Colts roster, with T.Y. Hilton and Zach Pascal headed towards free agency. In 2021, he caught 88 passes for 1,082 yards, as well as 6 touchdowns. Earning 38 catches and 3 scores, the next most productive wideout is Pascal. The current top options to fill out the core behind Pittman are Paris Campbell, Ashton Dulin, and Desmond Patman. With the Colts viewing the Ohio State product as an athletic playmaker who could open up the offense, Paris Campbell was a second-round pick in 2019. However, injuries relegated the wideout to just 15 games over 3 seasons, and that vision hasn't come to fruition. With 10 catches for 162 yards as well as 1 score, he played 6 contests back in 2021. At the NFL Scouting Combine on Tuesday, Chris Ballard, the Colts general manager, said he isn't giving up on Campbell being a contributor despite the lack of production. However, However, this doesn't mean he's going to count on him to be their number 2 or 3 right away. Hilton still wanted to play. The GM added that as of a couple weeks ago. However, only earning 23 catches for 331 yards and 3 TDs in 10 games, the 32-year-old is getting off his least productive career. Next, McCarthy wants no part in the Sean rumor discussion. Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys' current coach, wants no part of the discussion around the speculation that Sean Payton will one day coach the Dallas Cowboys. It's been a popular topic since the Super Bowl winner stepped down from his post with the New Orleans Saints. On Thursday, during the NFL Scouting Combine, McCarthy said it is a narrative he doesn't want any part of. He thinks nobody wants to really be a part of the discussion on either side of the fence. Being subjected to the questions that Sean isn't fun. Jerry Jones dismissed discussion about the future of McCarthy and his staff following the Cowboys' playoff loss to the San Francisco 49ers. The speculation that the former Dallas assistant, who Jones has repeatedly sought to lead his club, ramped up when Payton left the Saints. McCarthy said that the people need to realize that he gets to spend a lot of time with Jerry, who is both the owner and the GM. Their conversations center around the partnership between the head coach and the GM. They addressed it, laughed about it, and moved on because they have bigger decisions to make on the roster. Their main concern is the strength of the partnership, and everything else is for external people to worry about. The possibility of Payton eventually taking over for the Cowboys to win big in 2022 is the only way for McCarthy to truly end the talk of his job status. Lastly, Bills GM to propose a postseason overtime rule change. During the NFL Scouting Combine, the NFL Competition Committee will have multiple proposals to overtime rules changes to discuss. Changing the OT rules to allow both teams to touch the ball was reportedly proposed by the Indianapolis Colts. Proposing a different solution are the Buffalo Bills. Their lack of possession in their divisional round overtime loss to the Kansas City Chiefs kicked off the latest effort to change the rule. On Tuesday, Bills general manager Brandon Beane said that their proposal would be based on a time element rather than scoring, similar to soccer's extra time. Via the Associated Press, he stated that instead of one possession, you get another, and the time is going to be more similar to basketball time, playing for 5 minutes. Overtime was cut in the regular season from 15 to 10 minutes by the NFL to avoid extra possessions in overtime. His solution for the postseason is important to measure having any chance of passing. However, whether the NFL wants significantly different OT rules between the regular and postseason is the real question. The game is over if the opening possession of OT results in a touchdown or a defensive score under the current rules. After experiencing a bitter ending, a lot of teams have suggested a rule change. Since his club lost to the New England Patriots in 2018, the Chiefs coach Andy Reid has been outspoken regardless of the rules benefiting KC this time. Sean McDermott, Buffalo coach, said that there's a better way out there with experiencing what they have experienced overall. They have some ideas that'll help them move the game forward. That's all for now, folks, but we'll be back with more interesting videos. To stay informed about the sports industry, keep watching our videos. Tell us how you think things are going to pan out following this departure by sounding off in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe before leaving. Signing off for now.